Hey everyone, it's Pastor Hilaire here. We're out here in Montreal this week. It's a little bit rainy, but we're gonna shoot some content anyway. This week, we'll be exploring 5 books I think really help with new Canadian real estate investors. And I picked books that not only go through concepts I think is important for real estate investing, but that are also specific to Canadians. And then the last criteria I chose was to make sure that the books that I recommend to you guys actually provide practical knowledge and actions you can take to move your business forward. So I really try to avoid books that are just all theory, but at the end don't really give you actionable steps to make a profit or to improve your business. So that was kind of the criteria I chose for books for you guys as new real estate investors. So I hope you guys get some value out of this. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. It really does help with the algorithm. Okay, the first book I highly recommend any new Canadian real estate investor to read is going to be Rich Dad Poor Dad. So if you're serious about becoming a real estate investor in Canada, I highly suggest that you read Rich Dad Poor Dad because it's a great intro to financial literacy. And if you don't know how to make your own financial statements, you don't know what cash flow is, and you're not really, let's say, versed in the mindset that's necessary to become an entrepreneur or a real estate investor, you're gonna have a very difficult time investing in Canada. That's why I highly suggest that if you're new to real estate investing in Canada, that you read Rich Dad Poor Dad. Even if Robert Kiyosaki, the author, is not Canadian, the concepts and philosophies explored in this book will help you in your own journey as a real estate investor. Now, something else to learn in Rich Dad Poor Dad's book is the mindset that you'll need to become an investor and an entrepreneur. One of the main ideas here is how to become resourceful and not be dependent on just having resources. So if you can start your investing and using other people's money, then essentially you have an infinite amount of money and an infinite amount of capital as long as you can attract investors to your deals. Another part that you'll learn in Rich Dad Poor Dad's kind of mindset is that you want to work for skills and not necessarily working for money. As a quick little bonus, if you want to really take these skills to the next level, not only will you read Rich Dad Poor Dad's book, but also you'll get the board game Cash Flow. So you'll learn a lot, and try to find a group of people in your city that you can play this board game with. Now, the second book I highly recommend for new Canadian real estate investors is going to be Real Estate Investing in Canada by Don Campbell. The reason I like Don Campbell's book on investing in Canada for real estate is that it's very specific to Canadian real estate. And kind of the books I've presented here, such as Rich Dad Poor Dad, basically just cover real estate investing in the States or in general. However, Don Campbell's book really goes in depth on specific taxes, specific rules and regulations that we have here in Canada that may be different if you're investing in the States. So again, if you're a new investor in Canada, you want to learn the specifics of investing in Canada, as well as the generalities of the theory and practice of investing in real estate in general. Now, another reason I really like Don Campbell's book on Canadian real estate investing is because he actually gives you systems on how to make your life easier as a landlord. Now, if you're just gonna own, let's say 2 to 4 properties, gonna be a small mom and pop landlord, you might not necessarily need some of these systems. However, if you're focused on growing your portfolio to 10 plus more homes and really take real estate seriously, it is very good to really start planning ahead on how you're going to build these systems out. Don Campbell's book really goes in depth on these systems and how you can apply them as a Canadian real estate investor. Lastly, with Don Campbell's book on Canadian real estate investing, if you get the physical copy and not just the Audible, you get a CD that contains a bunch of documents, forms, and even more in-depth content that's going to help you basically master investing in real estate here in Canada. So that CD actually offers a lot of value and gives you what he calls, I believe it's the ACRE system, if I remember properly, but it's his own system how to, again, simplify your life as a landlord. So you have all the documents already ready and all the analyzers so that you can make sure that you're buying good deals and you're not overpaying. Because if you overpay for real estate, it's going to be very hard to make a profit. Third book I highly recommend for new Canadian real estate investors is going to be this book titled The Psychology of Money. In this book, The Psychology of Money, it basically introduces you to a bunch of different psychology concepts and, more importantly, some biases that we have as humans and how that relates to real estate investing and kind of investing in general. So as you're reading The Psychology of Money, one of the things you'll learn is kind of how to avoid some pitfalls that we have just based on human nature and some of what the things that we'll kind of get stuck in as real estate investors or investors in general. This will allow you to effectively learn how to think clearer. And if you can think very clearly, especially in more emotional times, such as downturns, you'll be able to think clearer and make better decisions as a real estate investor. So the next book I highly recommend if you're gonna be a new Canadian real estate investor is to buy and read Stephan Arnell's 10 Commandments to Negotiation. So as you're reading Stephan Arnell's 10 Commandments of Negotiation, one thing that you'll learn is that he's really good at simplifying negotiations for you. So he does this in a couple ways. He's only giving you 10 really principles on good negotiation. He's letting you know about some tactics and also counters to what people can use against you in a negotiation or what you can use in your own negotiations as well. And then finally, he simplifies the system by basically giving you like a roadmap to all your negotiations. So it'll all start with your questions, your cluttering, and then your closing. Now the last book every new Canadian real estate investor should read is gonna be Money Tree by Nelson Camp, who's actually my personal friend and mentor. So I really like Nelson Camp's book, Money Tree, because it really simplifies a step-by-step process, almost like a checklist of what you could do to go from 0 properties all the way to building your own rental income portfolio. Now, the second reason I really like Nelson Camp's book, Money Tree, is because he uses this awesome analogy where he compares real estate investing to a farming and almost an agriculture kind of concept. So this is kind of cool because he'll use like springtime is that's when you plant your seeds. It's when you start marketing, start looking for deals. Then you have your summer where you're kind of taking care of the properties, doing some maintenance, maybe doing your renos. And then in the fall, that's when you harvest your income, your refinances, and you actually start pulling money out of your real estate portfolio. Finally, never forget that winter comes, and that's when there's downturns, that's when there's difficult times, and you have to have cash reserves so you can actually survive a real estate winter. Here's gonna be a recap of the 5 books I highly suggest new Canadian real estate investors to read and apply. First one is going to be Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. Next one is gonna be Real Estate Investing in Canada by Don Campbell. Third book is gonna be The Psychology of Money. Next is the 10 Commandments of Negotiation by Stephan Arnell. And then the final book is gonna be Money Tree by Nelson Camp. So those are gonna be the 5 books I highly recommend new Canadian real estate investors read. Just make sure that you're actually reading and taking some info out of this and actually applying it to your real estate investments. Remember, knowledge is power, but only if you take actions. So thanks so much for watching this week's video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It really does help with the YouTube algorithm. And I'll see you guys next Sunday for another YouTube video with Real Estate with Patrick J. Hilario. Take care.